Now at 5.
Nicholas Cruz, the defendant in this case, has pled guilty to 17 counts of murder in the first degree.
Will the Parkland shooter be sentenced to life or death?
And I want a jury who's willing to understand that the death penalty is an option.
And the purpose of jury selection is to find a number of people who can follow the law and serve as fair and impartial jurors.
CBS 4 is live as the sentencing trial begins. The jury selection process alone is expected to last several weeks.
Let's get right to CBS 4's Joan Murray joining us with more on this process. Joan?
And we are just outside the courtroom where the process is still going, even at this hour. Now, the judge has said that the penalty phase will not begin until the end of May and could go through the fall.
That although you may be familiar with this case, you will not be excused merely for that reason alone.
Judge Elizabeth Scher setting the stage for what will be a long process to find a jury to decide whether convicted Parkland killer Nicholas Cruz will get the death penalty or spend life in prison.
Good morning. My name is Michael Satz. I'm an assistant state attorney.
A team of prosecutors, including retired Broward State Attorney Mike Satz, are asking for 17 separate death penalties, one for each of the 17 students and staff murdered at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018.
How do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
It's been nearly 6 months since the convicted killer pleaded guilty to 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder.
And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others.
His apology did nothing to ease the deep pain and grief the families have lived with since their lives were shattered. Many support the death penalty.
There's nothing he can say that's going to change anything that he did. We want him dead. We want him forgotten. I don't ever want to hear this kid's name again.
Your service will continue through the months of June, July, August, and September.
That timeline too much for some of the potential jurors.
My wife is 37 weeks pregnant, and my job already told me that they will not pay me yet.
I'm a single mom to a 6-year-old little girl that I have to pick up every day.
Cruz, dressed in a green sweater over a purple-colored shirt, stared intently at the jury pool during the day-long process. Finding a jury of 12 will not be easy, says Richard Rosenbaum, a defense attorney not connected to this case.
Can you put out all the extensive media that's transpired through the last few years? Can you set all that aside and listen to what is heard from the witness stand, what exhibits come into evidence? And if you can do that, then you're entitled to be a juror, and then it's up to the selection process.
A decision of death has to be unanimous. However, the final decision on life or death will be up to the judge. Now, coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll look at what some of the defense strategies will be to try to avoid the death penalty, and also hear from a potential juror who says she actually knew and spent time with the convicted killer. That's all new at 6. Reporting at the Broward Courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
Joan, thanks a lot. Here's a closer look at the jury selection process. 60 jurors will be called at a time. The process will take place Mondays through Wednesdays through the end of May, with some days off. The goal is to find 20 jurors. That includes 12 jurors who will be making the decision and 8 alternates.